Ready? Okay, thank you for being here at the Volunteer Tennessee Executive Meeting. Today, we're going to be reviewing and voting on the Executive Committee minutes, the Commission Support Grant Commission, Investment Fund, and Volunteer Generation Fund. And then we'll leave time for public comment. Thank you for being here today. Our first order of business is to confirm a quorum. There are currently 8 voting members of the Executive Committee, so we will need 5 voting members for a quorum. Betty, will you please call the roll?
I surely will. Oh, am I muted?
No, you're good.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Destiny Brown, Nathan Farner,
Here.
Rebecca Henderson, Greg Lyles,
Here.
Terry Silver,
Here.
Betty White here, Eileen Woolham, Yvonne Wood.
Yes.
So I count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 8, which gives us a quorum.
Great. Let's move on. So hopefully everyone is taking time to read and look over the minutes from September 25, 2025. You should have received those by email. Does anybody have any corrections or additions to those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Excuse me?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
If the moves to approve, okay, Betty seconds. Will you please do a roll call vote?
Yes. Destiny Brown, Nathan Farner,
Aye.
Rebecca Henderson, Greg Lyles,
Yes.
Terry Silver,
Yes.
Betty White, yes. Eileen Woolham, Yvonne Wood.
Yes. Okay, thank you,
Thank
Betty.
you.
And
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
unanimously.
Betty, did you catch who made the second?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, Jim, would you please discuss the commission support grant budget?
Sure. So this is our primary annual operating budget, which covers most of the staff salaries, commission travel, and then our internal state costs that we have as being part of a state agency. The budget period is July through June. So you can see at the top are the personnel expenses, which is in line with the 7 staff members that we have, but actually only 6 are included in this budget. The 7th is included in the budget that we'll look at in just a second. Sorry, I'll make this bigger. But you can see there's travel for commission meetings and a little bit of staff travel. There's more staff travel in the other budget, and again, we'll talk about that in a second. Some supplies, then the other cost, a little bit of postage, some memberships for various things that we utilize on staff, including the American Service Commission's dues that we pay on an annual basis to be part of that organization. And then computer costs. The state services and F&A fiscal, that is a growing line item that is going to potentially cause us to have some budget overruns in the next fiscal year. And I've had a discussion with Adam about that earlier today, and he's going to talk about it internally to see if there's anything we can do about that. Then space, even though we primarily work remotely, we still have to pay for state space in the state office building. And then communications includes our phones and printing expenses. The total federal is $421,760. The match is $468,548. And you can see the amounts that we have available. The current federal for the upcoming federal was $406,160, and then we have unexpended funds from the year that we're currently in that we anticipate to be about $15,000. And then the match, most of the match is coming from the state appropriations, and then we expect to have some income from the corporate social purpose network, but also, there will also be funds that come in from the conference and the GVSA, but we didn't include them in this budget because we have more match than we need for the purposes of this budget already.
I'm just curious as to that 16,000 that we're paying for office space. That's a lot of money for us not to be utilizing that space. And if most of the staff is working remotely, I wonder if that's something we should talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we can, I can certainly ask internally, but they do that on a headcount basis.
Mhm.
And since we have 7 staff, they charge us X amount times 7 is what we get charged, the same as all other state agencies. I'm happy to ask about it though.
Does anyone have any comments or questions?
What was the other item, Jim, you said you'd have to talk to FNA about?
It's the state services FNA fiscal, which is a total of $83,600 some odd dollars.
Mhm.
And that amount has grown a little bit over the last couple years, and it, as you can tell, is outside of the staff line item is the next largest item in the budget.
Mhm. Any other comments or questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the 26-27 commission support grant budget as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, who made the motion?
Yvonne.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm checking in. It's 4:28. Yvonne, how much time do you
Nathan,
have?
second.
Yep.
Are you? Yvonne?
I just emailed them that I'll be about 5 minutes late.
Okay, so
Okay.
Jim, do you think we can get through these next 2, or should we? Because I don't want to rush through any budgets that we really need to talk about and look at. I really don't. I want to make sure that we're present and we're able to, look at these numbers. These are important.
Yeah, sure. Well, I just note that that Betty
Can
still
we,
has to do the
can we
roll
back
call.
up and vote on this last motion first?
Yeah.
Yes. My bad.
Because we have a
Roll call.
motion on the floor and a second.
Yes, and we did not vote. You're right. My bad. Do you want to do a roll call
Okay.
vote, Betty?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Destiny Brown, Nathan Farner,
Yes.
Rebecca Henderson, Greg Lyles,
Yes.
Terry Silver,
Yes.
Betty White. Yes. Eileen Wollum, Yvonne Wood.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Jim, can you please lead into the discussion for the commission investment fund budget?
Sure. And also, the question that you had about I can certainly check with people to see if there's more time to review these in the
Mhm.
next few days, if you prefer.
Well, let's see what you've got, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the budget that's primarily designed to provide training and technical assistance for staff, commissioners, and the programs that Volunteer Tennessee funds. You can see there is one staff person included in this budget, and then there's some travel for staff and commissioners and programs to attend various events. I can go through those if you'd like. Then there's a little bit of supply money for the conference. Then there's some contractual and consultant services for a couple different things, including a small amount for Basecamp, which is an online essentially system for storing files that we use for programs. Some training, this is a training course. The NSCHC is a training course. America Learns is a grants management system that we're using with programs for them to submit invoices to us. Member engagement consultants, that is provides training for AmeriCorps members. And it seems like a lot of money, but it covers all roughly 800 members across the state are eligible to utilize that training. And it's a lot of different trainings. It's not just one. And then a couple lines for trainers at retreats for program directors. And then the other support, there's a couple other subscriptions for things that we utilize to communicate with programs and do other things. There's funding for the conference, fees for attending the leadership convening, and then the national service training. Those are all conference fees. And then again, I had to move some of the fiscal from the commission support grant to this budget to cover, because again, it's a head count. And this is the share of all of that for the staff in this budget: computer, phone, and then the rent allocation for the staff in this budget. And that's the entire budget. We don't expect to have any unexpended funds from the current year. We think we're going to use pretty close to all of it for the current year. So all we have is the base allocation of $166,136. This grant does not require matching funds, and so that's why there's zeros in the match column.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the 2026-27 Commission Investment Fund budget as presented?
So moved.
Greg,
Yes.
second?
Second.
I'll second.
Nathan, okay. Betty, would you please do a roll call vote?
Yes. Destiny Brown, Nathan Farner,
Yes.
Rebecca Henderson, Greg Lyles,
Yes.
Terry Silver,
Yes.
Betty White, yes. Eileen Wallem, Yvonne Wood.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Jim,
Five, the
could you
motion
please?
passes.
Yes, thank you. Can you please do a discussion for the Volunteer Generation Fund budget?
Sure. This is a national competitive grant that we have had in the past. This budget is very, very preliminary because it depends a lot on having sub-grantees be partners with us. So you can see there's a little bit of staff expenses to cover a little bit of staff time. Then there's some travel for various things, not a lot of money though in that section. There's some training to cover a couple of different training things specific to this grant. The biggest line is the program subgrants. And again, this notice of funding opportunity just came out on April 1st. And so we are right now working to try and find partners to be part of this project. We don't know yet, and we won't know until the 22nd who would like to be part of this. So this is just an estimate of what based on previous years, what we think the programs would want. It also includes the Tennessee Serves statewide volunteer portal, and then again, some amounts for the percentage of the staff time for computer, phone, and space. This grant does require 50-50 match. So you can see the amounts at the bottom, the 785 and 785 are the amounts for the federal and the match share. But again, the largest is this amount for the program subgrants, and they would provide the bulk of the match for the entire grant. So they would reach out to us and say they want to partner and tell us what they want to do. we combine all of those requests into a single application that we then submit to the federal agency for the funding request.
And Jim, the national conference registration, that's for the partner, whoever your partner is going to be. Is that for their registration?
That would be for the staff member
Okay.
managing this grant.
Okay.
They can include the registration for the national conference in their sub-grantee budgets, though, if they want.
Okay.
So Jim, I know you mentioned that this is preliminary because the NOFO's still out. So will we have to approve it again revised, or how does that work? Remind me.
Yeah, well, yeah, good question. What we typically do when we have the budgets that change between the time they're approved and when they get submitted is we bring it back to the commission. So we would know at the May meeting, we would present the final budget at the May meeting to the full commission at that meeting for approval.
Okay. So my question then is, obviously, I know we lost the
Yeah,
bond, so we're not able to vote on this.
Right.
Does this require us to need to try to schedule to vote on this again? Or if we know we're going to vote on it on May, are we able to wait? I just don't know. That's, you know.
I think if you all are okay with staff going ahead and submitting this budget, we won't know whether or not it's approved until after the May meeting anyway. So if you're okay with us submitting, well, again, it won't necessarily be this budget, because if we don't have $701,000 in requests, this line would be something else.
Yeah.
All the other stuff would pretty much be what's in this budget. But if you're okay with staff submitting this grant with a budget that's similar to this, but not exactly, and then us staff presenting the final budget in May, then we can certainly do that.
Okay. That, Terry, at least that in my mind makes sense. I mean, if we know we're going to have to do a more accurate budget that we're going to most likely have to vote on anyway, and this is the only one that's outstanding, do we try to pull us together before May, or do we just know that? I mean, that seems doable to me, but obviously others may have other thoughts.
My question with this is, it seems to me so vague or so totally undetermined, is that I don't understand why we would need to vote to approve this, because it doesn't seem that it's finalized yet.
Yeah, well, ideally, we would know the partners already, but because the notice just came out last week, we haven't had time to gather the partners yet, and it's due on the 30th. So the time frame for this is just really, really short. And in a normal year, there would be a little bit more time between when the notice of funding opportunity comes out and when we have to submit. And that would give staff more time to gather those partners and then present a more accurate budget to either the full commission or the executive committee. But the timing of this just didn't allow it with the meeting that was already scheduled for today. Now, if you all would like to reconvene after April 22nd, but before April 30th, we could present the executive committee with an accurate budget. And in general, I don't think it's statutorily required for this particular budget, but staff really prefers that the commission approve any kind of budgets when we're going to be asking for federal funding.
Sounds like the best option is to wait until May with what Nathan brought up. And I hope that we have more of the executive committee here to talk about that. It's going to be for the whole commission. Is that the whole commission meeting we're talking about?
Well, if you want to wait until May 15th, that would be the full commission.
Yeah. Because I'm a little concerned with the lack of engagement that we've had with the commission and the executive committee. I feel like when we're approving budgets, we really do need to have a good number of eyes looking at numbers. And, trying to help make sure that things are kosher.
Yeah.
And that was, I didn't want to rush today, and I knew Yvonne had to leave by 4:30. So, I just want to make sure that we're all doing our due diligence with the money, especially, and with our programs.
Yeah,
So
if
what do the rest of you feel?
if it's allowed, Jim, my preference would be we have eyes on it. Those of us that are on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
softly saying yes, go forth and do what you need
Yes.
to do.
Yeah,
We've had some
yes.
eyes on it, and the formal approval come at the May meeting.
Yeah.
I would be fine with that. If we're gonna likely have to do that anyway, it would
Mhm.
seem like a poor use of resources to make you all as staff have to rush with 2 days notice to try to squeeze in an extra meeting, us try to
Mhm.
find a time if we're gonna have to do it anyway. That's my
Yeah.
thoughts.
Betty and Greg, how about you two? How do y'all feel?
I can go along with that idea as well.
Okay.
I agree. I guess my question is if we have to vote, or can we just decide this by consensus since we don't have a quorum now?
I think-
That's a good question. I'm not familiar enough with Robert's rules to know what it says about when there's not a quorum. My guess is that you could vote, but it would not be a binding vote because there's not a quorum.
But basically what we're saying is we can't finish our voting because we don't have a quorum. So we're going to push it to the May 15th meeting for the full commission.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments or questions regarding that budget?
I'll just also note again, all these other numbers that you have that in the document that I sent
Mhm.
will pretty much be the numbers that we submit. It's just this program subgrants
Okay.
that would change based on how many partners want to join in. And my guess is that if it goes any direction, it would go down,
Okay.
because 700,000 assumes that we would have roughly 5 to 6 partners, each asking for $50,000 to $100,000,
Mhm. Okay.
and that's probably we're probably not going to get that many partners.
Mhm.
I mean, I could be wrong. We could get more, but the last VGF grant that we had, we only had two partners. So
Wow.
just for
Okay.
historical.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. At this time, I'm going to ask if we had any requests from the public to address the executive committee, Jim?
No.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions or any other concerns you would like to bring up at this time? Oh, okay. Jim will be reaching out about scheduling the June executive committee meeting. All right. Thank you so much for your patience today. I really appreciate your diligence in getting here. Everybody have a good rest of your week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Jim, before you go, I want to
Yeah,
ask you a couple
yeah.
of questions.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't care who's on here, it's fine.
I'm
if you
trying
want
to
stay.
close. but I
Please
can't.
stay, please stay.